All right, we're ready to get underway. We have everybody up here, I believe. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is the Interbike Power Summit presented by SRAM, and want to welcome everybody. What we want to do here, the goal here today is to give everybody an overview of the latest introductions in power, and basically allow the leaders in power measurement to make presentations here today, and to give you guys a good, in an hour and a half, you're going to get all the, every bit of information in terms of product, features and benefits, technologies, and we've got everybody from SRM, Quark, and Plus, the technologies that allow the wireless to work together. We've got everybody here that we partner with in terms of power, as well as Zip is represented. So just want to thank everybody, and I hope you get a lot out of this. If you have questions and answers, we can get those after the particular presentations, or save them until the end, however you guys want to do it. But if you do have a question, put your hand up, but just be respectful of the presentations and stuff, and in between, or again at the end. The first thing I want to do is introduce the Road Category Manager for SRAM, Mr. Charles Becker, and he's going to give you sort of the overview of how SRAM's relationship with a number of these brands. Charles Becker, Road Category Manager.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming again. This is the second time, like Michael said, so it's good to see that we struck something good last year, and many of you are coming back, and we're willing to be back. Power measurement is very important to SRAM, and if you look at the other large OEM component suppliers, we're the most committed to it. We're really the only one who provide a suite of products, fairly extensive in our catalog, and promote it and make it available to you. We believe in power as a way to improve our riding, not only as a racer, but also as an enthusiast. And from my perspective, we've been doing very well with power. If I look at our sales statistics over the last 3-4 years even, they've continuously grown, and this year especially. In fact, I sort of wanted to apologize to some of the dealers in the room that may have wanted to get products faster from us, and we were a little bit backordered. I mean, that's how strong the demand came across, and it outstripped my ability to properly forecast such an expensive product. It adds a lot of value on the floor. A lot of times, people come into a store and they've already purchased a really good bike with a lot of features and components on them, and this is the great upgrade. It's the greatest upgrade you can probably do after a set of wheels. And so we're happy to be there. We also believe in choice. We do it as SRAM as a whole. We have many brands like Avid, RockShox, Zip, SRAM. So we also believe in providing the choice in terms of power. That's why we partner with other leaders in the industry today who are represented here, and you will see them represent themselves in a few minutes. All of our professional teams on the Pro Tour circuit, as well as the Pro Continental circuit and key triathlon and cyclocross racers sponsored by SRAM and Zip, all use power. They may not always use it on race day depending on conditions, but they all use it for training. And so we're very active in the sponsoring and the marketing of these products as well. In terms of things that are new this year, we just are going to begin shipping the compact version of the power meter cranks from both SRM and Quark this month. All of the power meters, regardless of being the 130 or the 110 BCD, are assembled and inventoried in Indianapolis in the Zip location, so they're ready for delivery within this country, which makes it very easier for distributors and dealers to get their hands on one without having to place an order way ahead of time or investing a lot of money in inventory for an item that is fairly expensive and you never quite know what size you need until the last moment. So we believe in choice. We're here to expand our products, and there will be certainly more products to come in the near future. We have them on display at our booth here, so if you have any questions throughout the show, come to our booth. You can go to the tech bar, you can come to see me or Bill Keith, our road PM, who's in the corner over there, and we can help you in any way we can. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you very much, Charles. All right, we are going to introduce our second speaker, and that is going to be the What is your title? Training and Education Manager for Zip Wheels. Mr. David Ripley is going to speak quickly on behalf of Zip.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Just a real quick history. I was actually talking with Jesse a second ago. Zip, with obviously our kind of racing heritage and racing background, was, I believe, the first to offer power tap built into a deep section racing carbon wheel. Many, 6.5, 7 years ago. It was quite a while ago. And now offer power tap in our full lineup, with the exception of a couple of wheels. We don't offer it in our 101 or in the new Firecrest series yet. But we were also the first to structurally integrate power tap into a disc. And it's, I believe, the only power tap disc available in the marketplace. So again, with our racing background, we understand the value of power and kind of the necessity to incorporate that into your race gear. So we're offering it for a long time.
Thank you very much. Thanks, David. All right, now I want to introduce basically our MC for the event today, our host, and that is, he's one of the world experts in power training. He is the author of Training and Racing with a Power Meter. He's doing a 20-city tour this winter. He's the founder of Peaks Coaching Group. He is one of the biggest influences in the adoption of power. He's taught over 2,000 coaches nationally and internationally. He's done 100+ seminars as well on power, similar to the one we're doing today. We appreciate his attendance here and his hosting this event. He will be at the VeloPress booth tonight at 5 to 6, a shameless plug, 5 to 6 tonight at the VeloPress booth, signing his book. There you go. He is an author and coach. I'd like to introduce everybody to Mr. Hunter Allen.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here and excited to see so many familiar faces over the years, and see some new faces too. And it's been a lot of fun here in the past years. I've been developing all these products and technology, and I want to kind of take you through a little brief history of training with power first, and just kind of bring you along and give you some ideas about how this will help you when you talk to your customers, when somebody comes into a bike shop and says, you know, I'm thinking about this power meter thing. Why do I want one of these things? What do I need to do with it? And why is it important to me? So that way you can take that home and kind of work with that. So, Michael, you're gonna do a slide?
You just point.
All right, you got it. So let's just talk a little about the history of power training. It's been, you know, for us it seems like, wow, this is something really new, but in reality, we've been doing this for a really long time. Back in 1896, this guy, a sports scientist, an exercise physiologist, Booney, used it to study racing cyclists on this wonderfully medieval contraption right here. So we've been doing this for a long time. Back in 1913, the refined ergometer was developed by another sports physiologist as well, Keto, and these things are still in use today. So it's pretty interesting to see that some of the things that have been happening a long time ago are now still, you know, really kind of coming into the modern age. When we kind of move forward here, we jump up to 1987 and we look at the first SRM that Uli Schroeder built, and we kind of have here's some new things that are coming along. The ability to measure this right on the crank on a mobile ergometer is something that's new. Look introduced the Max 1, if you remember, power meter that was in the hub around 1988. They were one of the first ones to kind of bring that to the market. I remember looking at the Winning magazine back then, if you remember back then, about what the Max 1 was. And then when we kind of move forward a little bit, in 1994, USA Cycling was really kind of one of the first national governing bodies of cycling to adopt SRMs and a power meter, and they used them in a stage race with all their athletes, and that was in the Tour de France. So that was a big turning point when we started to really understand some of the demands of power, some of the demands of these hard races, some of the demands as an athlete of what had to be done. Power tap started up in 1999 as a company called Tune, and Joe Friel wrote a little manual about that. So that was kind of the first part that really gave us some ideas of how do we think of this as a training tool? How do we improve? How do we use this to really become faster on the bicycle. In 2001, we had our first online discussion forum, which I'm sure maybe you are maybe a member of, and that was has been around for a long time and has been a great source of lots of ideas and lots of great thinking. Slide, yep. In 2002, we also kind of had a seminal event in power training. Was the first cycling, the first seminar that was ever done. Dr. Andrew Coggin, the co-author of our book, Dr. Alan Lim, and Dean Golich all presented that seminar in a very small room with about 25 coaches in there. And that really was the first time that coaching coaches for USA Cycling became exposed to some of these concepts. Myself and Dr. Coggin and another guy, Kevin Williams, we started the Cycling Peak software, and we released that in 2003. Dr. Coggin came out with some things that we now use all the time: power profiling, normalized power, training stress score. And then in 2005, USA Cycling started the first certification for coaches. So now I think we've certified over not quite 500 coaches yet that are now power certified. So a 2-day seminar where they have to go and learn all these concepts, and they have to be an expert level coach to do that. So if you find somebody who's a coach in your local area, if they're power certified, that is a very significant certification. So certainly keep that in mind. Dr. Coggin and I wrote the first book on power training that was released in 2006. And then since then, power seminars have been held in many countries around the world, in all kinds of different languages, and that has really given us a lot more proliferation throughout the world as well. So, in 2009, I was incredibly blown away and excited to see that Velo News listed the growth and development of training with the power as the third most significant story of the decade. The first one, or actually the second significant story, was the internet. So I was like, wow, okay, we're third behind the internet, that's pretty good. But that really kind of lets us know, like, that's a significant thing for cyclists. And as you are out there at your shop all over the country thinking about these things, this is becoming more and more mainstream. All right, so Tour de France winners are using power meters. Next slide. And